Coach Alexa here, covering Reading, South Oxfordshire and online. I wanted to follow up with last week's post where I gave a few tips about setting good goal structures, small incremental goals for the new year. And I thought, just in the spirit of openness, I'd share a little bit about my process of reflecting on the previous year and thinking ahead to the new year. I don't really set New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals as such. I prefer to be flexible, find stuff throughout the year, set things that are actually a little bit more kind of progressive, maybe thinking about a month at a time for some things and longer term for others, depending on what they are. So, but I do find the end of the year and the beginning of the new year a good time to reflect back on the previous year and what I can learn in terms of things that I keep doing, do more of, stop doing, do less of for the next year. And an interesting one cropped up into my head when I was doing this pondering recently. I use a couple of sort of tracking apps that, kind of gamify things. So you might be familiar with this if you use Strava, badges for all different sorts of stuff and activities. And actually, one of my reflections back on last year was the pros and cons for me of using those, the behaviours that they reward, how that tries to change or does change the behaviours that I do around my training, and whether that adds value or not. And for me, I decided it doesn't, so those apps have been deleted. It's always been a little bit of a struggle of mine. I am a very data focused and very goal and tick list focused person, which can be, as all things are, I guess, an advantage and a disadvantage. And I found that on balance, for me, that real gamification and badges and awards and whatever in the app were not actually aligned with the actual fitness outcomes that I wanted to have when I sat there and broke it down and worked out what my goals really were and whether the sorts of outcomes that these apps were rewarding aligned. In a lot of cases they didn't. What prompted me to make this video was the fact that I had a similar conversation with one of my runners this morning, so it's not just me. So what are my goals for this year? They're very broad brush, to be honest, and what it actually means in terms of smaller goals as we go is yet to be planned out, and in fact probably won't get planned out for a little bit. I've got some surgery coming up, so that's obviously a priority. So my priorities for the first 3 months of this year are around sleep, improving my sleep by making sure I meditate every day so that my brain is able to fall asleep more quickly, and that I allow myself to have a set of bedtime routine every night. It is around good quality food, around making sure that I am cooking from scratch a certain percentage of the time, and trying to completely iron out the processed sugar from my diet. Has a massive impact on post-surgical recovery and our recovery and adaptation in general, but more important for me, and in between now and my surgery date, making sure I maintain a measurable level of strength. So I have 3 little strength tests, as it were, that I do for myself each month to make sure I stay at the same level. Now is not the time to be peaking in my training. Now is the time to make sure that I'm maintaining a good, consistent level of strength. So those are my 3 goals for the first 3 months of this year. Happy to hear about yours and your approach to goal setting as well, because it's a very personal thing. Happy running.